Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan of TheChartGuys, trader and technical analyst for the last 13 years. And in this video, we're going to check in on the broader market that has finally gotten its daily bounce underway. Is this a bear flag or can the bulls see follow through? I'll let you know the clues that I'm looking at into tomorrow that I need to see for the bulls to continue to prove it. We've also got strength in NVDA and Tesla. The uranium sector is standing out. Lots to look in on. Let's get to it. So we had the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ gap down on Friday, marking temporary bear exhaustion, and now that's led into a daily bounce. And again, those of you that follow this channel know our feelings on gaps, but when you're in an exhaustion move, it often marks tops and bottoms. Look at the top. SPY, gap up. We did not hit that price again. And then here, very bearish, Wednesday, Thursday, or I should say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no gap, no gap, no gap. There's your gap, there's your bounce. So keep an eye out for gaps and bounces. It's not every time. Ideally, you want it to be extended. Here was another one where this gap down didn't bounce, but the second one did. Here was a gap down into the daily bounce. You get the idea. So now we go to the futures chart and we look at EMA 12 resistance, which has rejected the last 3 bounce attempts in both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. And the NASDAQ was the bounce leader today. We had it start strong. We looked around and said, no other sectors are participating in this bounce right now. That's not ideal. We wanted to see XLF, XLV, QQQ all breaking their high of Friday into bounce follow through for confidence. We didn't see that. QQQ then rolled over and broke the low of the day. At that point in time, if you're not keeping an eye on the bigger picture, you're going to think, uh-oh, the bears are about to take back over. But we could say, the bears are confident and they're in control of the 5-minute downtrend, but zoom to the hourly, what's the most likely scenario? Well, anything over the hourly high or low from Friday is an hourly high or low. So anything above 356.12 keeps the hourly uptrend intact. And so we then had this falling wedge shaping up the hourly high or low. Forgot to get my posts in order here, but QQQ bulls only short-term hope for an hourly higher low is the 5-minute falling wedge. 11:58. And that was right around here. And then the bulls started to prove it. And from that point, they did not look back. 15-minute stair step for the rest of the day. And the most important aspect is the other sectors joined in the second half of the day. And so what I need to see tomorrow, we're going to go through the list here, but the dollar confirming a 12-hour rising wedge. We'll look at that in just a moment. I need to see XLF, XLV, and IWM getting their daily bounces underway. It's great when the NASDAQ leads, but it can't only be the NASDAQ. We want the NASDAQ to be a bit green tomorrow, but we want IWM, XLF, and XLV. If you're bullish, you want those sectors to be catching up to the NASDAQ bounce that we saw today. And so the S&P 500, or I should say the NASDAQ futures daily EMA 12 is potentially in play tomorrow. If we reject, then we can say nothing is different. We may be continuing the downtrend. If the bulls are able to get bounce follow through and other sectors participate, then we're going to create the space for the daily trend change attempt, and then we look to the weekly. I care more about the weekly than anything right now, and we're going to talk about the weekly time frame a lot towards the end of this week and into next week, but not going to worry about that right now. The big question will be, can bears confirm the weekly downtrend? But first things first, can bulls confirm a daily uptrend? And the hourly uptrend on all bounces are our guides. Losing the hourly uptrend is the first indication that daily lower highs are shaping up. Semiconductors led the bounce today. SMH got over 151.09. Excuse me. And just like that, we're back to the highest level in 7 trading days, a week and a half. And so the weekly bounce is underway for SMH. And again, do we confirm the weekly downtrend, or is this a monthly bull flag? Those are the two things that are going to happen here. One or the other. And NVDA earnings Wednesday going to dictate a lot of that. And NVDA putting on an absolute show yet again. The amount of times this year where I've just been dumbfounded by, number one, the volatility of a stock this size, but the resiliency of the bulls. Gap down for buying, Last Monday, daily higher low, uptrend confirmed. I was keeping an eye out for bears on NVDA this morning because 445 had been a level that had come into play to start this month, and we were rejecting from it pre-market, but very quickly could see, no, these bulls are still very strong. We're up even higher after hours. I mean, we're knocking on the door of all-time highs. We're 2% away from the all-time highs, which again is pretty astounding. This base of support at 400 now becomes that much more important. Seeing that kind of bounce off that support hold, you know, that is the key level. And anybody that has shorted NVDA in the last month, a lot of them are right back into the red if they did not take profit. But in the end, it's going to be earnings that dictate whether we head back down to 400 support or hit new all-time highs. Tesla. So as I mentioned on Thursday's video, or Wednesday's video, I'm looking for gap downs to buy for bounces on the daily time frame. Tesla did not gap down. I did not trade Tesla on Thursday. I did attempt Riot on the gap down and stopped out break even. Then Tesla on Friday gave me the setup that I wanted, the gap down open. So entered Tesla on the gap down in the 214s, sold partial in the 217s, and now have a break even of 211. And so my mindset is hold this as long as I can. I have pending a bad news, big gap down. I can put my stop under there and have no risk. And I'm going to try and let that play out because I also bought this gap down open and I sold anticipating a daily lower high was the most likely scenario. And I missed out a lot of this move. And so I'm going to hold a portion as long as I don't stop out for the possibility that this is another monthly high or low forming. Now, if I look at the current setup and say, what's my confidence this is a monthly high or low? It's fairly low. I'm not highly confident this is a monthly high or low, but I can position myself with no risk to benefit if it is a monthly high or low. I want to add to this position as well. Now that I've got more conviction, today gives a lot more conviction. This is an island reversal pattern with a gap down into a gap up. And we've got a lot of space where we're going to look for a daily high or low as the result of next consolidation to see if the bulls can confirm the daily uptrend. Then we're going to zoom out knowing that a weekly lower high is the most likely scenario, but one time frame at a time. And I'm keeping an eye out for potentially adding and averaging up on daily consolidation, looking for that daily high or low. So it's only the most aggressive bulls buy into weakness. The patient bulls wait for a bounce like this and say, okay, bulls, you're proving it to me. I see the size of that bounce. I'm going to look for an entry on the daily high or low. And so we'll see if the bulls are able to shape up the daily uptrend into next week. XLV. So again, didn't participate. Double top with the high of Friday. Have to see that change tomorrow. Got to see the other major sectors participating in this bounce. Otherwise, the S&P 500 is going to set a quick daily lower high. And we know XLV is trying to fend off the weekly downtrend confirming. So got to get that daily bounce underway. Got to see 133.88 break tomorrow. XLF, lead bear today. All bears all morning. Broke the low of Friday with no follow through. XLF must confirm an hourly uptrend tomorrow and get the daily bounce going to join in here. So again, real quick, I need dollar weakness. I need XLF, XLV, IWM, all to break their high of today, tomorrow. IWM double top with the high of Friday by, I guess we broke it by 13 penny. No, we broke it by 3 pennies. Need more. Got to break that double top. If not, it's an extremely weak bounce. Even if we break the double tops, we're still looking for daily lower highs. It's just a question of, can the S&P 500 get help to try and negate a daily bear flag? Because the current bounce retracement from the last lower high is approaching 50%. Need another green day to get 50% plus, which creates the space for the daily trend change attempt from there. ARKK leading the bounce percentage-wise. Big gap down Friday. Bulls bought that dip. So we got smashed. And at this point, a very quick 4.5% bounce. Same thing, need some follow through, need to confirm a daily uptrend. Otherwise, we're just looking for a daily lower high to be the result of this bounce. Biotech sector, daily EMA 12 resistance and downtrend resistance, trying to shape up a monthly high or low. Let's see if we form a monthly equilibrium with our high, low, lower high. And if we hold 72.44, it is a higher low. There was some news in the sector today that helped the sector out a bit. But it's all about 72.44 to try and remain within this tightening range. And so confirming a daily uptrend is the first baby step towards a monthly high or low. But a little bit of relative strength today, again, because of growth names gapping down into this bounce. AI gap down into the bounce. Anything under 34.06, just a daily lower high. PLTR is still a weekly uptrend. It's a weak daily bounce, though. If we're going to set a weekly high or low on PLTR, we need more follow through to try and shape up an inverse head and shoulders. AI, as I mentioned, oftentimes the morning goes by. If you don't have a trade, go to the 15-minute time frame for late morning, early afternoon. And here's AI with a picture-perfect equilibrium. It broke bull, and we then had 2% plus of follow-through into the end of the day. So just a simple, do I want to buy the 15-minute high or low? Or do I want to buy the resistance break? Either way, 15-minute tightening ranges oftentimes give nice late morning, early afternoon setups. Crypto stocks still very relatively weak. Daily stair-step drop, can they be laggards on the bounce? Is the question for tomorrow. Bitcoin still struggling to get bounce follow through. Hourly downtrend clear guide, daily stair-step, lower high every day for 8 days. Have to see that shift. Definitely watching for it over the next couple of days. Burden on bulls to prove to us. I need to see relative strength because we've been seeing relative weakness, Riot divided by QQQ, relative weakness every single day. Even this morning, Bitcoin had a little bounce going, QQQ had a little bounce going, relative weakness remained. Have to see that change to be looking for this daily bounce. But again, as a laggard in the solar sector, names that are crushed and have not bounced yet, if this bounce continues in the broader market, watch for these names to try and get their laggard bounces going. The dollar, there's that 12-hour rising wedge. It's got to confirm. We've got to lose the 12-hour uptrend for the first time in a couple of weeks with a break of 103. If that does not happen, we don't have much confidence in bounce follow through. So with that start of daily consolidation today, again, it's either a daily bull flag or that 12-hour rising wedge is going to confirm. But gold tried to get a bounce going. It broke this daily stair step, still very weak. Silver way stronger. Silver's got this bounce going for days now. Head start on the bounce, big follow through, and silver double bottomed at weekly support. So that's notable as well. Silver is positioned well if the dollar were to see weekly consolidation, but there's a long way to go before that shapes up. And oil, so we lost the daily uptrend. Can the bears confirm the downtrend? This is the attempt at a daily lower high at 81.75. I'm now on the October futures contract, CLV. Bears must break 78.60 to confirm the daily downtrend into further weekly consolidation. So in the end, impressive bounce follow through. Pretty much bulls got what they wanted to see. It was a little shaky there on the morning, but they got what they wanted to see as far as growth names and NASDAQ names. A lot of it was because of NVDA up plus 8%, Tesla up plus 7%. That lifts the NASDAQ a lot. Those two names have a lot of weight in that sector. But what we need tomorrow, dollar, XLF, XLV, IWM participating and keeping an eye out for laggard bounces on Riot and TAN. Uranium, forgot about uranium. Keep an eye on uranium. CCJ broke this monthly equilibrium bullish and has not looked back since. We keep hitting 12-year highs. Volume is ramping up. And the bulls are trying to turn on the jets and go breakout mode. And look at the smaller names, big volume spike, highest level today that we've seen in 5 months. And so the sector is coming to life a little bit. CCJ has been leading the whole way, but now other names are trying to join in. And these names are positioned extremely well if the dollar were to see weekly consolidation. All right, don't forget, I just talked a lot about a bull perspective because we got this bounce underway. Daily lower highs are the most likely result of these bounces for a ton of names. Losing the hourly uptrend is the first indication that daily lower highs are shaping up. So we're not going to forget that side of things because we are still in daily downtrends. Hope you had a great weekend. Do good things. So fall is quickly coming. We've got the crepe myrtle in full bloom. I'm letting the garden mostly get overgrown at this point. Still got some onions and greens that I'm eating daily. And it's about time for the last of the flowers to get going. And we've got the zinnias. These are some scarlet runner beans that are climbing up some weeds. And this golden seal and goldenrod, I don't know the difference between the two, but all of these plants that I let overgrow along the driveway are about to start flowering in a sea of yellow. And then it'll be time for things to start dying off. There's a tree in the back that's already dropped half of its leaves.